Sizzle sizzle, everybody. It is your favorite culinary captivator and delicious decapitator, Chef Cade LeDuc, the main course himself, and you are watching Geeks with Issues.
Cause I got geek in your face and the geeks got issues. Geeks, geeks, geeks.
Hey, true believers, welcome to another episode of Geeks with Issues 20XX, brought to you here from the new Basement of Dreams at the Northern Berkshire Community Television Studios in North Adams, Massachusetts. We have a lot of geekdom to discuss in a half an hour, but before we begin, allow me to introduce to you your geeks. To my far right and your far left, the multi-game format master Andy.
Hello.
In the center, our chief technologist, Ogre.
Hello.
And I, your friendly neighborhood Geekmaster, am Tuck. Andy wanted to bring back a topic of conversation from a previous episode because he realized that a grave injustice occurred.
Yes.
And he wants to take an opportunity to fix that.
So on the previous episode, I talked about geeky competitions that don't exist but we would like to see. And I mentioned that my mom suggested that I do it on Geeks with Issues and bring this to our attention. I neglected to mention that, and it occurred to me that I should talk about geeky shows that actually do exist, and I neglected to mention my dad's favorite one of these, BattleBots. There are a number of different geeky competitions, but BattleBots is a great one where you get like 150-pound, 250-pound robots that battle it out in a dome with just chainsaws and spinning drums and flipping people over and stabbing them in the undersides and all that sort of stuff. But there are also a whole lot of other nerdy competition shows. Jeopardy is the one that I was watching with my parents when this came up. There's half of the things on dropout.tv, Game Changer, all that stuff. Make some noise. And then other things like Whose Line Is It Anyway? Or what are you guys' favorite nerdy competition shows?
I've got two in mind. I want to see what Ogre has, though.
Yeah, my Whose Line Is It Anyways is just the one that came to mind immediately. So the other ones, they're a little bit less of a competition. Well, it is truly a competition, but I love watching esports across the board. So like any esports is always fun. Just being able to see how experts play games is amazing to me. Because I'm like, I want to play like that, and then I realize my hands don't work. And so yeah, I love watching esports. Another nerdy thing that I like to watch are drone racing competitions. Those are outstanding as well because I know that they're making their drones from scratch, and it is super fast, super cool. Yeah.
Nice. So there are two competitions that I can think of, one of which I am going to describe in detail, but I have gone and forgotten the name of, and I'm hoping one of you might be able to catch me on this one. It was a program on Sci-Fi. It was hosted by Stan Lee.
Okay.
People had to compete to have their superhero be turned into a comic book by Stan Lee.
Oh, wow.
So they would dress as their comic character. They would describe what their superpowers were.
Yep.
And they would, in sort of reality show competition style, compete against each other, and one of them would be eliminated each session, and it would end with a battle against I think it was the top two or three. And the winner's prize would be they would have a comic book made of them by Stan Lee.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I've never heard of this.
Let's do America's Top Superhero. No, that's not what it is. Let me look it up.
It was totally that was totally the vibe. The second program, which is more of a game show, was Beat the Geeks.
Okay.
So Beat the Geeks was you had a group of geeky contestants who would go up against a stable of geeks who were specialists at different types of media.
Okay.
So you had the music geek,
Yeah.
you had the gaming
Yeah.
geek, you had the movie geek. And you would have various categories and segments of the game where you would be competing against the geeks. And if I remember the way the end played out, you basically had a one-on-one battle where you picked which geek you were going to go up against, and you had to fight in that category
Wow.
and
Wow.
beat the geek.
Yeah.
And it was the geeks were stereotypically geeky villainous is how I
Nice.
would describe them. Like they were actually levels of awful.
Like Will Wheaton on Big Bang Theory.
Yes, very much so. Where the point was to play up that
Yeah. Ham it up.
I am smarter than you about this topic.
Yeah.
Sounds like Geek Iron Chef.
Oh yes, very much so.
Yeah. The name of Stanley's reality TV show is Who Wants to Be a Superhero?
That was it.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. This probably predates like America's Top whatever, and was very much on the heels of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
This,
Right.
This inspired it. No, wait. Okay.
So we're going to shift over to a topic brought to us by Ogre about the technologies of today that you use without thinking, that you couldn't have imagined or might have imagined when you were a kid.
Yeah, man. I was racking my brain on this one when I was thinking about it. The first one that came to mind was air fryers. The amount I use an air fryer today, or literally today, versus when I was a kid, it wasn't even something like toaster ovens. I don't think were a thing when I was a kid, or at least it wasn't a thing in my house. But let alone a miniaturized impingement oven that makes delicious food. That was one of the things that came to mind here. But what do you guys have?
That's tough. Like I was talking to my dad about something similar to this like a while ago, about like how when he was a kid they didn't have backpacks. Backpacks were for hiking.
Okay.
You didn't have school backpacks. So like those movies where like nerds are carrying around their stack of books, or maybe it's got a little leather cord wrapped around it. That was what it was for him. Like you couldn't carry it around in a backpack. Like backpacks were like metal frame packs. And so, that's something from his lifetime. But like just like phones in general. Like I remember even in high school, like when teachers would say, "You won't always have a calculator with you when you're an adult in the world." Like I remember thinking, like that's not even true now. Like I always have a graphing calculator in my cargo pocket. That like I can't imagine that stopping. And the only reason it stopped is because they got smaller. Like the power of a graphing calculator got smaller into the size of a phone.
Right.
Like otherwise, I would continue to carry around a graphing calculator with me everywhere.
Let alone the ability to just write it on some kind of tablet, the same equation, and hit a button, and it solves it for
Like,
you.
and don't get me wrong,
It's
I very
just-
much appreciate learning how to solve math without a
yeah.
graphing
Oh, yeah.
calculator, because it lets me know when the calculator or the computer or AI is just flat out wrong. But there's I'm sure there's a ton of things I can't like, but that's a tough question because none of them spring to mind. What about you, Tuck?
You see, I'm bemused by the teacher. You won't always have a.
Yeah.
Because I can think of a list of, you won't always have a dictionary. You
Yeah.
won't always have a
Yeah.
calculator.
Yeah.
You won't always have. Currently, a teacher could not say that to my kids because they most definitely will always have a insert item here. I think I can remember being a younger person and helping my dad or doing something out in the woods and being frustrated by the fact that I was and still am a big computer game aficionado. And there was no way for me to deal with my desire to be playing video games while I'm out in the woods.
Yeah.
That seems like an absurd thing to think about.
Yeah.
But I will regularly be sitting on the couch with my Steam Deck on my lap, having that thought of, past me would be so pumped
Yeah.
to know that I have my video games and I can carry them where I want to.
What about you, Ogre? What?
Another one I came up with, Google Maps.
Oh, yeah.
Just I remember when I was single digits, so I was maybe 7 or 8 years old. There was no GPS.
Yeah.
Right.
Zero. Consumer grade GPS didn't exist yet, so my parents had debates about the proper way to fold maps in the car, and they were aficionados of going to AAA and getting something called a triptych, which was just a spiral bound book of maps that you can flip through as you travel, and such. It's just that these are skills that are lost.
Yeah. I mean, we were all scouts. We learned how to read maps, and that's
a compass.
Skill that's not, and a compass. That's a skill that's not necessarily even necessary anymore, unless the power and stuff goes out. But like the odds of that happening are slimmer and slimmer. Like being able to have a map, pull up a map of where you are, no matter where you are in the world, whether you're in the woods or not. Woods, city, streets, doesn't matter. Yeah.
Well, and here's an in-between technology that I'll toss in as a final thought. Something I hadn't thought about in a long time, but someone brought up recently, was MapQuest.
Yeah.
The concept that you could get a map direction by direction on demand was mind-blowing in my college era.
Yeah.
And
then I was like printing out stuff from the computer and just bringing it with me to have in the car.
Right.
Which is an in between of having to like look at a map and figure out how to get from
point
here
A to
there.
point
Yeah.
B.
And sometimes you can't get there from here.
That's true. But you can get from here to a journey from the basement.
Nice segue.
Thank you. I appreciate it. This episode, we are taking a journey to the Moon Cards and Collectibles to see the fantastic goodies that are within that particular roof. Trevor, take it away.
Hey, true believers. Trevor here with another journey from the basement. Today I'm checking out a new shop over on Eagle Street in North Adams. To the Moon Cards and Collectibles. Let's head inside. If you're the kind of geek who still remembers your first holo pull, this place might be one of your new favorite stops. From Pokémon cards to sports memorabilia, spanning baseball, hockey, basketball, wrestling, soccer, and more, this shop is stacked with fresh packs, vintage finds, and display-worthy gear. Whether you're hunting for that missing card, chasing nostalgia, or just looking to talk stats and collectibles with fellow fans, Kevin down at To the Moon is the guy to help you out.
Thanks for joining us today, man. Of course. I guess the first thing I gotta ask you is, I know you did this kind of at conventions and stuff for a while, right? So what made you switch to having an actual physical in-store setup?
Well, I was in Maine for the last 8 years, and I was doing a lot of card shows up there, working with the Celtics. I grew up around here. I moved home about a year and a half ago. Some family stuff going on. Decided to just kind of redo this building. It's been my dad's building for 30 years. So I started to just redo it from the ground up. Hadn't been done in 30 years, this part of it. And I was just like, you know what, if I'm going to be around here where I grew up, there's nothing really fun with the sports hobby or collectible in general. And I do Pokemon and sports myself. So like, big thing of my friends is we used to always go to all the card shops and the stores up in Maine. So like, around here not having anything, I kind of was just like, you know what? I have all this stuff. I'm not going to travel 3 hours to Maine for card shows now. Might as well just do what we got to do for now, try it out, see how it goes. It's been great. Like, the community's awesome. It's been fun.
So, was there a specific team, sport, or player that made you switch from fan to collector? Like, what was your first experience with that?
I've always been a huge Boston fan, and I think that once I moved to Maine and I really started working for the Maine Celtics, starting to meet the players, and the more people you meet that you realize they're real people, and like I was really starting to collect like the Maine Celtics players, which went to the Boston fans, or the Boston players, the more people I met, and like, I'm a big Tatum guy, my dog's name is Tatum, like, I absolutely love the Celtics. Like, now working for them for 8 years and meeting everybody in the organization, they're not on the pedestal that everybody puts them on. Like, they're real people. Like, those Celtics guys are traveling an hour and a half to come to all of our Maine games. And so, like, I have a lot of those guys, like, that hand-signed cards for me, and it's like, that, like, actual hand, or like moment to moment with them, I guess really like helps prove that it's more than just a hobby. Like, they love it themselves, you know?
Yeah. Well, I think that goes into any of the trading card games. I think it's like the experience that you have with it. Like, I mean, like with like wrestling cards and stuff like that, people do that too. It's because like they might have met, you know, Kenny Omega at an indie show 5 years ago. So of course now they want every autographed Kenny Omega card, especially if they can get that like to add to their Holy Grail collection, whatever it is. Do you have anything that's weirdly, unexpectedly expensive or in demand?
I mean, to be honest, it's all the Pokemon and the One Piece, like that. The new cards, the trading card games are just like really blowing up. Like, it's all ages, from youngest to small. Like, people would be surprised. Like, I literally have a card that I just was actually surprised about. It came in, it was a Lugia, and it's over $100 card. So, like, you'd be surprised because like it's just a Pokemon, right? It's just like a character, but. I don't know, the Pokemon and the art and the way that the artists are now doing like the art community into the cards, I just think that it just surprises me every day how much Pokemon goes for.
So, I mean, I've been noticing, because I'm not a big sports guy myself, but recently I've been seeing that sports cards are following that same kind of trend.
Yeah.
Where when I was a kid, it was just, oh, I got the Michael Jordan card. I got the Larry Bird card. Now you've got like the chromatic and the reverse holographic and like all the metal and like all the things that come with it. So it's crazy. Do you think that trend will continue? Do you think that like sports cards will start to hold the same value that Pokemon does for longer without it being affected by the play of the player or the teams?
Now that Topps has the licensing, I do believe that they do a good job with the game worn, making sure everything's game worn for like their jersey patches and the autographs and stuff. They do a good job with their cards. I do think that it will. We have a fun saying that we like to say in here: Charizard will never tear his ACL. So like, Pokemon will never tear their won't get hurt, or they won't get in trouble with the law. Like, that's the one thing that Pokemon and trading card games have that sports don't. Sports can change in a day, in an hour. All the trade deadlines today has been absolutely insane. But like, that's the one thing. Pokemon, they can't get hurt. So like, that's the hard part. Is
there like a misconception with card values? Do people just sort of think one way on card values, like there's more cards that are worth value over the other? Does it change often?
They did have like a junk wax era, the 80s and 90s, where they overproduced a lot of cards, printing and stuff. So there's a big misconception on player names being values or people names being values. It's big about like the rarities and like the stuff like that with the cards, because people will come in all the time and like they have Bo Jacksons or Michael Jordans or any baseball, David Ortiz, Manny Ramirez, but like, the older you get with those guys, the 80s and 90s, they're really not worth that much because they overproduce them. Like, there's so many $2 Michael Jordan cards out there where it's just because they overproduce them. And I think that, we're getting back into a good era where with Topps that they're going to start having those game-worn patches again and the nicer autographs. So it'll be able to really help replenish the market from the junk wax era. But yeah, it's not just cardboard. Like, there's so much more to them. You know, when you get the out of 10, there's only 10 of them. Like, gold out of 10. I just sold an out of 10 Kevin Owens auto, gold out of 10 Kevin Owens auto. Personally, I never thought like I'd be selling big wrestling cards in here. There's a market for literally everything. It surprises me every day how much people. It's the autographs. It's the connecting with them through that stuff on the card.
So I guess my last question: do you consider yourself a geek? Do you think sports collecting makes you a geek?
Oh, 100%. I mean, I definitely say I geek out 24/7 in here. I love this place. Pokemon, like I got people coming in with Pokemon all day and they're like, I feel bad. Like I know you're just opening. I don't want to overwhelm you. I'm like, no, I love this stuff. Like I legit love this. So like you keep coming. I'll talk to you as much as you want.
Now that I know you're a geek, is there anything that nobody knows you would collect or be into? Is there anything like a geek, like hidden geekdom that you're into?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely a collector. I mean, JFK memorabilia.
Oh wow, that's
I got a lot of JFK stuff back home. Yep, I was a big JFK guy growing up with my grandparents. I used to love him, so I have a lot of JFK stuff. That'd probably be like something like that, history stuff like that.
That's pretty cool, man. That's a pretty geeky thing. All right, man. Well, thank you for talking to us, man.
Appreciate it. Anytime.
Glad to see the place.
Yeah, come by
Thanks,
anytime.
Geeks.
Have a good one.
That was our visit to the Moon Cards and Collectibles, a fresh spot on Eagle Street that's already giving collectors and sports fans plenty to be excited about. From brand new card drops to vintage treasures and memorabilia across just about every major sport, this is the kind of place where hobbyists can dig in and trade stories. The kind of place where you walk in just to look and walk out mentally rearranging your shelf space at home. If you're local, swing by and check them out. And until next time, keep geeking out.
So there is a line about the collectability of Pokemon cards and how they are exceeding the collectability of sports cards that I had a humorous meditation on. That concept that Pikachu will never pull his ACL.
That's interesting. Yeah.
So I just wanted to...
Or have a sex scandal.
Yeah. or run an illegal animal fighting ring.
Fighting. Wait.
Quickly, segue time. Speaking of video games, or board games, or card games, or what have you, I have been inspired recently by the concept of the Game Collector's Edition. Whether you're talking about a digital collector's edition, which is exciting because you can get all sorts of exclusive digital items for your characters, to the physical collector's editions that allow you to get stuff. And hearkening back to the old days when games would be in boxes and you'd open up a game with a box and there'd be a map and a coin and a instruction booklet that had a plot to it in addition to the plot of the game. Given unlimited reality, budget is not an issue. This collector's edition actually existing is not an issue. And it doesn't have to be limited to video games. We can be talking about board games. We can be talking about other sorts of games. What collector's edition would you like to add to your collection?
This one I have been thinking about, and I do have an answer, the correct answer.
Oh, the correct answer.
And that is Warhammer 40K. If you could have a collector's edition that had all of the Warhammer 40K components at very good quality, and like that is the one that you would want a collector's edition of.
And a collector's edition of Warhammer 40K
Yes.
would be like the GDP of a small country.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And you
Like-
need a small country to play it.
Yeah.
It's just such a
Like
so
the storage
vast.
space would be insane.
Oh, yeah.
Just to store your collector's edition of Warhammer 40K.
It comes with its own pod.
Yeah.
I love that. That is the correct answer.
Yeah. Like it's like, it was just like, oh, like if I have this, then I could just sell off pieces of it and be set for life. Even if you don't like Warhammer 40K, like which I haven't played a lot of it, but mostly because finances and time are a huge concern just to get the set of it. Yeah, it takes some time to play it, but just like just acquiring it is just such a massive feat of time and resources.
Right.
That if I could just have one collector's edition of anything I wanted, it would be Warhammer 40K. But a more reasonable answer would probably be something like Twilight Imperium, which is a board game that I play a fair amount, and it would be cool to have custom fleets for each of the 24 races that it's up to now, rather than just here is the red fleet, here is the green fleet. Having like you can 3D print like custom flagships, but to have them each of the ships flavored to be more like what that race's ships would be, and to have higher quality components, foil cards, and all that stuff, that would be cool.
That would be very cool. Ogre.
So I thought about this one for a while, just going absolutely bonkers, and Pokemon came to mind. So my favorite Pokemon game was Pokemon Yellow. This was one of the OG ones where your primary Pokemon was Pikachu there. But then I was like, I would love a holodeck version, first-person version of Pokemon Yellow to play.
Very nice.
Beginning to end, having to do the entire thing as if it's a sandbox, RPG, 100%.
Very nice.
Make it an MMO for fun.
So I went back and forth on this because there's a lot of games that I've gotten collector's editions of, and there are a lot of games that are worthy of collector's editions. The one that needs a proper collector's edition. So, a little bit of background here. The game company Atlas that does like the Persona games and Shin Megami Tensei does an incredible collector's edition where there is an absurd amount of physical items that come in the box. So that style of collector's edition for Chrono Trigger, and specifically the Chrono Trigger reboot that they are discussing.
Okay.
They're not reboot, remaster.
Yeah, remaster. Yeah.
That just seems like that is begging for a collector's edition version of the Epoch.
That's a much more realistic answer than ours. You might actually be able to get that.
That might actually exist at some point.
Yeah, not right now.
Yeah, that's fair. Unfortunately, what has come right now is the end of this episode of Geeks with Issues 20XX. We want to thank you for joining us for another episode. I want to remind you that we are available online at your favorite social media website. Just look for Geeks with Issues TV. And find us online on our website at www.geekswithissues.net. Until next time, and on behalf of the Basement of Dreams group, this is Ben.
I'm Andy.
Ogre.
And Tuck, reminding you to geek on, geek out, and geek anywhere. Just clean up after yourself. We'll see you next time on Geeks with Issues 20XX. Goodbye, everybody.
You gotta blow on it. You gotta blow on it. I used to think anything was possible. I thought that I could be a king or Caesar. But I don't need all of that gold or silver. That's how I know that I'm a true believer. Some people want to climb the corporate ladder, TPS reports, politics and schemes. Thanks to my chainsaw, my cubicle is firewood. Now I'm living in a basement of dreams.